Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. I'm going to ask you to not judge me because every time I think of this story, I want to judge my own self. I got my children, the first three came in a set. One was 3 months old, the next child was a year and a half, and the next baby was 8 years old. And I knew nothing of caring for children. People often assume that if you're smart in one area, then you're smart in all areas. And I was smart in sociology. Yeah, I didn't know nothing about raising no babies. Oh my God, what a dumb line. Anyway, I mean, think about it. The people who had raised and cared for all the children of the nation, and they give her a line as, I don't know nothing about taking care of no babies. Seriously? They called her Mammy. Anyway, so I get these kids, and one night, Tina was probably 5 months old at the time. She had a fever, really bad fever, and she's just freezing. She's shivering. Now, because I knew nothing, I was also an intense worrier because I didn't, when you lack information, you fill it with worry or information. And while I was reading every book, I could tell very quickly that the people who wrote those books didn't raise children. So Tina's fever has got her chattering and shivering. I wrap the baby up in a big old blanket, grab my electric blanket, take that with me to the hospital. We get there, they're like, okay, ma'am. And I sit by an outlet, plug it in, and wrap my baby up while we're waiting. The nurse comes out and goes, ma'am, she has a fever. I said, I know. And she said, well, ma'am, you're baking the baby. Now, those of you who are parents, this is obvious to you. It wasn't to me. I had never even nursed a fever in my own self. All I saw was a child shivering. She's cold. Keep her warm. I didn't know that I was taking her temperature higher. So they were able to take care of her quickly, and she was okay, and we got her back home. Got her fever down pretty quick. Sometimes the thing that seems like the obvious solution is exactly what we should not do. There are times when people press against me, demanding of me what it is that they want from me. And it feels like within my primitive self, the obvious response is to push back. But really, if someone's pushing at you, you move out of the way and let them fall forward. There are times when I find that people want to engage in shaming, debate, revenge, giving someone their comeuppance. When that feels like I'm going to do to you what was done to me when you had the power, it feels like that's what you want to do to counter this action. But the obvious thing is not the right thing. In her work, brilliant Brene Brown, social worker and researcher, found that people who went through really difficult struggles, those who made it through on the other side without harm, with joyful life, and really rebounded quickly, were those who were the most vulnerable, who displayed the most vulnerability. And we've taken her research and we look at it and we try to go look for ways to become vulnerable, to show ourselves as vulnerable. Really, I think her work is pointing to humility. Not in this make yourself less than someone else, but to become empowered with the knowledge that seeing yourself as a part of the way through, that things happen to everyone, that of course this will happen to me, that I don't know everything, and that the light of the Creator dwells within me to empower me to go through this. That's actually power. That the humility and the vulnerability, how you define it, how you call it, how you see it, is the power. Sometimes the obvious solution to the response to those who will try to take your work, your voice, your power, is not to beat them down and take theirs, but to show them how when you share the power, you create more. Listen, this world is not zero sum. There are more pies to be made. Fighting over the pie, believing that if I have 80%, you're only going to have 20 left. It's not the obvious thing. Is the obvious thing, actually. It looks like the answer. But the real truth, the very, very real truth that I've been able to live through and see, is that there are so many more pies to be made. And maybe if you bring your peaches over here with my apples, we can create something completely new. I love you. Let's stop baking our babies.